This lesson discusses sending email using SMTP. The topics include: what is SMTP? Why would you want to use it? How do you send an email using SMTP? Looking now to the first code example, as you can see, SMTP stands for Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. It is an alternative to using SendMail. The reason why programmers like to use SMTP is that it allows you to send messages from one location to an email server in an encrypted manner. SMTP also works with authentication. In order to send email using SMTP, it is highly recommended that you use an external library. In this case, we'll be using PHP Mailer to deliver the mail using SMTP. We first set up the PHP Mailer object using the require once statement and instantiating a PHP Mailer object. We then set the recipient, the sender, the subject, the body, and a couple attachments. Starting with line number 22, you can see we have additional configuration which is needed for SMTP. First of all, we tell the system that we are using SMTP for our transport. We then program a series of parameters. These include SMT debug, which in this case will give us information on errors and messages. We set SMTP off to true. This enables SMTP authentication. We set the character set to UTF-8, which is the most popular and widely supported encoding in PHP. It also allows for international characters. The secure parameter is set to TLS. TLS stands for Transport Layer Security. Alternatively, you might set this parameter to SSL. SSL stands for Secure Sockets Layer. Both TLS and SSL will encrypt the communication between your application and the email server. On line 30, we set the host to the DNS name of the SMTP server. On line 31, we set the port. The port value will vary depending on the requirements for your hosting environment. A port value of 587 is very common for a security layer of TLS. However, if your provider uses SSL, the port number may be quite different. On line 32, we have the username for the SMTP account, which is usually the same as your email username. The password is the password for the SMTP account. Likewise, this is normally the password for your email account on the hosted server. Finally, we send the mail and test to see if there are any problems. Moving now to the browser, we are going to run a slightly modified version with actual working parameters. We see that the results were successful. We then go to our live webmail client, do a refresh, and as you can see on the live server, we have the email message that was delivered, in this case through SMTP. In review, what is SMTP? SMTP is an acronym which stands for Simple Mail Transport Protocol. Why would you want to use it? It's widely available and it's much more secure. How do you send an email using SMTP? It's recommended that you use an external library such as PHP Mailer. You create the PHP Mailer object, issue the isSMTP command, and then configure the parameters that are appropriate for your particular environment. This concludes our discussion of sending email using SMTP.